Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another weekly roundup with Immutable Holdings. My name is Billy Baxter, the head of corporate development and operations.
And I'm Jordan Freed, chairman and CEO.
Jordan, I'm liking the new camera angle today.
Yeah, I spent so much time with these blinds closed that I was really missing the sunlight. So I just decided to let some natural light in today, turn these lights off, and do this a little old school from the laptop cam. So new angle today.
Like it. Well, hey, Jordan, probably going to keep this relatively short this week just because we've been busy on our front. But, figure we would just kind of start things off because the trend over the past couple of weeks is we've been talking about ourselves to kind of kick things off. We've been talking a lot about NFT.com, but I think for this go around, how about we start off first with talking about coffee and crypto and just where things are heading with that.
Yeah, the growth, we've really hit our stride with that. And we've even been able to lower our cost of acquisition along the way and really define what those top acquisition channels for this newsletter are, while also growing the open rate. So I can't be happier and say better things about the team behind this newsletter. It's a grind to get a daily newsletter out. We have a weekly editorial meeting where we're talking about headlines, but news comes up. We're over 50,000 subscribers finally, which is an enormous amount of people. Every single newsletter is now read by well over 10,000 opens per day. Right. So we're talking about we even have some newsletters bursting well above a 30% open rate, which is really exciting to see. I think we can do even better than that and get it closer to a 40% open rate on the list. So we continuously work to improve. And that just continues to grow. So 50,000 is a massive milestone. I'm super proud of the team. I have my eyes set on the next big milestone, 100,000, and I cannot wait to get this thing to 100,000. This is already a great growth channel for NFT.com. Last week, NFT.com was prominently displayed across that newsletter and sent hundreds of clicks over per day, even in some days over to NFT.com. Many of them converted into profile holders. And I'm excited to continue to see that kind of synergy between these two businesses.
Definitely. And I guess, Jordan, also on that note too, about, kind of placement of NFT.com and coffee and crypto synergies there. I figured this is also a good opportunity for us to just talk briefly about NFT.com. So the past couple of weeks, we've been talking, obviously, what we've done with the public beta, but now that we're kind of 2 weeks, or I guess heading into our second week with public beta, you mind just like commenting a bit about like how we're kind of looking towards the future of like NFT.com, or, basically maybe just scale that back. What do you think is like on our horizon in the next, month to, or next couple of weeks and months ahead with NFT.com?
Yeah, the entirety of the focus for NFT.com going forward, I can summarize in a very simple way, which is the number of people that have NFT.com profiles. We are entirely built around the NFT profile as like the core primitive of a user's experience with that platform. And a lot of what we're working to do is to curate that perfect experience for a profile holder, where perhaps they get better market intel, they get access to premium traders, they get access to premium editorial content, something along those lines. So how can we make an NFT.com profile as compelling as possible? Profiles are the revenue driver for the NFT company. Profiles have an annual license fee associated with them, and profile growth will really define the growth story for the NFT company. Why that's significant, and I'll just jump to market commentary quickly, is as we rightfully predicted, and it happened way faster than we predicted, the race to zero has almost completely happened. It's no longer even a race to zero. We're at zero, where the top NFT marketplace in the world has dropped their fees temporarily to zero. We talked about this last week, I'm not surprised to see it. But NFT marketplaces need to define how they're going to monetize outside of that. And issuing a coin is not a good answer to that. You need a sustainable economic model. For us with NFT.com, we're really happy with the go-to-market direction of the profile. It's the core beginning of how we want to build a moat around our marketplace or our platform, as opposed to OpenSea, which never had a moat around their users, which is why so many of them have gone to Blur or X2, Y2 or LooksRare or another platform. So with NFT.com, give them that social experience, allow them to create that customizable profile, allow them to in the future follow other creators or like NFTs, but then get market intel, get market insights, do something, give them that X factor, and look for us to innovate on that X, because that X, whenever we define what that X factor is, get a profile, get X, as that evolves over time, the number of profiles we're able to sell into the market will grow as well, as will that annual recurring revenue that the NFT company should experience. So that's the business in a nutshell. I've oversimplified it, but I like to think in like the most simplistic terms. And for me, that's easy. I got to wake up in the morning and think about, how are we selling more profiles today?
No, definitely. And also too, like we've spoken about that a lot. And then Jordan, if you don't mind, just to add additional commentary to your point before, Race to Zero is a reference to the marketplace fees that we're observing on.
Yeah, sorry if that wasn't clear.
Yeah. OpenSea and
NFTs are not going to zero. Crypto
yeah.
is not going to zero.
It's just that
Billy is not going to zero. I'm referring exclusively to the fee, the maker taker fee that marketplaces typically charge to buy and sell NFTs. Yeah.
Yeah, which are effectively zero at this point and probably going to be like that for a long time. So
yeah,
it's going to be interesting there. Well, hey, Jordan, because we kind of cut over to talk a little bit about like the broader markets, I guess I have one thing I wanted to just kind of bring up, kind of zooming out from NFTs and just speaking about crypto overall. Probably the biggest headline that we saw last week was an announcement by Coinbase with their recent launch of their new Base protocol, which is a layer 2 blockchain built on top of Ethereum. While it might not directly impact Immutable Holdings per se, based on what we're building at the moment, do you want to maybe just talk a little bit about how this is like a, what significance it brings to the, to the industry, and also, to the extent that it could impact Immutable Holdings in the future, if you're able to comment on that.
I'd love to. It's funny. I think the funniest comment I saw on it is, Base, exactly what the market needed, another Ethereum layer 2. And the joke really there is Ethereum doesn't need more layer 2s. One, Ethereum is working to improve their core, mainnet performance, to the point where they moved to proof of stake. They should be able to handle much more transactional load. But there's so many people already working on scaling proposals. This is not a proposal for how to scale Ethereum. It's actually a move. It's a vertical integration. And it's not the first time we've seen it in the market. We saw Crypto.com move from a token issued on the Ethereum network to now what they call Chronos. Chronos is both a token. The Crypto.com coin is now a token that's native to its own blockchain. And we saw this with Binance, where BNB, the protocol token for Binance's platform, is now native to Binance Smart Chain. And there's alternatives on Binance Smart Chain to all the popular apps on the Ethereum network. This is a really strategic move by Coinbase to keep their 100 million users in a very Coinbase-defined ecosystem. And I think what you're seeing here in the market now is build really great user experience in that Web 2 way, get users into Binance or into Coinbase, and then guide them on their user journey throughout the rest of their experience with Web 3. Use our blockchain, use our wallet, use our decentralized marketplace, and eventually use our coin. Right now, Coinbase has a little bit of a tricky situation as a publicly traded company navigating regulatory waters to be able to issue a native coin. There's not a native coin, and it looks like if there were a native coin, it would be pegged to Coinbase stock. There's some proposal I saw floating around like that, but Base is, Base is a really interesting, I think, attempt to take some of those workloads and some of those applications in that developer ecosystem off of Ethereum and really lock people into a Coinbase specific blockchain, a Coinbase specific app ecosystem, which is not to be, it shouldn't be surprised by. It goes back to the mobile the mobile phone days where you had Palm Pilot, you had a Palm Pilot app ecosystem, you have Android, you have an Android app ecosystem, you have iOS and an iOS app ecosystem. These large exchanges are looking to acquire users and guide those users into now an app ecosystem, but they want those apps native to blockchains that drive workloads and value to their ecosystems. And I think it's a strategic move if and only if they can successfully guide those users from that Coinbase.com sign up through that decentralized experience to get that public-private key pair, use that native blockchain. That could be really interesting, but that's my prediction on where this goes. And I fully expect that base protocol to support NFTs, stable coins, other token transactions. We'll look at it closely. Of course, NFT.com is a multi-protocol strategy. So perhaps one day we're integrating base NFTs as well.
Definitely. And I think it's that, as you touched on before, the distribution piece is what's really kind of compelling there. So basically, by making it easier to connect DeFi and all these other things in Web3 to a strong user base like Coinbase, it's going to be tremendous for anyone that's planning to build on that platform. So
you nailed it. It's like if you're a mobile developer, how do you decide where you're going to build? Well, you build for iOS because iOS has a lot of people there. Then you make sure your iOS app works on Android too. The other thing I'd say is like the first wave of blockchain engineers, I think, learned the hard way where everybody was building these blockchain protocols and launching their blockchain protocols, but without robust app ecosystems. And the people that are most successful now building blockchain ecosystems actually started not building blockchains at all, but building mass adopted web apps like Coinbase and Binance, which are web apps. They're exchanges that you go to in a standard browser like Chrome or Firefox or Safari, navigate there and build those good user experiences, build that relationship with the user, guide them to blockchain after. And those are the ones that are best placed to build those robust, decentralized blockchain ecosystems. And we saw it with Binance Smart Chain. It's good on Coinbase to try to compete. Let's see if they can pull it off.
Yeah. Also, sounds like a similar story to what I'm hearing on our case with NFTs. So it'll be very interesting to see how this develops. Well, Jordan, we're going to keep it short this week because we're both of us are busy. So as always, any final comments before we kind of wrap up here?
Yeah, I've got this, it's been such a long road to get to this particular point. I think when you get to this particular point, you kind of realize, okay, why do people take the actions they take online? Why do people do what they do? And, there's really some common themes. I really think that now that we've got our product market fit with this daily newsletter, and now that we're trying to find that with NFT.com, it's really just a matter of sort of shifting, not even the product, but the product messaging to be able to acquire those users. And Billy, we were just talking about this offline prior to recording, but I'm really excited about not having to pivot from a product perspective as much, but now just positioning it or messaging it properly to help people understand it, to help people use it, and to continue to grow that value proposition. So our work is in no way done, but it's great to get to this point in the journey where now it's much smaller tweaks and much smaller adjustments that we're having to make that are what I believe are going to yield a result and help us, get tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, eventually millions of profile users, and then to continue to grow that subscriber base. So a lot of work left ahead of us. This was always a marathon, not a sprint. So we're telling the team to rest up. And we're back this week to shipping new features in the sprint already. There's a new sprint with new features that get added at NFT.com. So I'm sure next week we'll be talking about those, and a lot of excitement still ahead. So as always, if you like this video, please give it a like, leave us a comment. We'll answer your question either directly below your question or in the video next week. And make sure you subscribe to get updates like this.
Great. Well, thank you, everyone. This is the conclusion of our episode. See you again next week. Take care.